everybody, Josh the RV Nerd with Bish's RV here at my Coldwater, Michigan hometown superstore. And if what you're looking for is a nicely half-ton towable, like solo or couples camper, you want some decent space, but you don't want it too big, this is that like perfect little in-betweener size right here. Tip to tail, tongue to bumper, it's about 27 foot, maybe a couple inches beyond that, but it's only about 5,500 pounds dry weight. The GVW fits very nicely within most half-ton towability, and it gives you a true queen bed, a theater seat, and a dinette, and a slide with surprisingly good kitchen space and a taller shower, all in that weight and size category. Normally, when you're in this size, you often run into having something with only a theater seat or a dinette, and this one gives you both without a Murphy bed. That's what's really cool about it. Now, it is an open concept, and I know some people don't love that. I do appreciate the fact that they included a privacy shade on this. Now, being a Jayco, you've got double the warranty of about anybody else. It's also a little bit taller inside, and this is a full J-Flight, not the little brother SLX. We have things like Goodyear Endurance radial tires. We are prepped and ready for a full observation camera suite. We've even got 200 watts of solar up on the roof and some very basic inverter prep. Nothing real fancy there. This isn't really intended to be like the be-all, end-all of hide off the grid camping. It's something where you could do some basic boondock camping. I will mention on that note, we're looking at a copy of this built from Indiana today. The Idaho-built versions of the J-Flights actually have a few things like larger fresh tank capacity. Personally, I wish they were all just homogenized and had the same nice standards, but there is a little bit of an Eastern and Western difference, so keep that in mind. And giving you those insights, giving you that information, telling you what's good about this floor plan and what's not. That's what we're going to do here today. So if this isn't the right RV for you, let's figure that out now before you spend 4 hours driving to one of our stores. And if you appreciate the way that we treat you fair like that, hit that subscribe button. Let's get Doug in there. Doug! Doug! Huh, I guess Doug's not here today. So if you walk in the door and you turn your head left, this is pretty much what you're going to see right here. My goal today is to try to kind of put you in the driver's seat a little bit, give you a better idea if you don't have a chance to go see one of these in person, what it's going to look like. That's also why I don't use fisheye lenses. I want you to see what it really looks like. Now up top, we've got a taller ceiling. This is 6'9" tall, and they actually have a really aggressive lighting package in here, but you can turn off each light individually if you're so inclined, so that you know, if you're boondocking, you can really sip off the battery reserves and not gulp off the battery reserves. I also want to point out they have a surprisingly good amount of kitchen storage and everything in this. And I'm going to make a second pass through and open everything up. I gave you the fast flyby. Now I'm going to give you the slow flyby. And then we're going to open everything up in really gritty detail. So we're going to just peel this onion apart layer by layer. You might notice this floor plan, they don't do floor ducted heating vents. J-Flight's a little inconsistent that way. Some models they do, some models they don't. For the most part, the models that they're building and engineering now, today, don't have heat ducted flooring. The models that have pre-existed and they already did all the engineering and the ducting, it's kind of one of those, it ain't broke, we're not fixing it things. And maybe you have a preference one way or the other, but that's what they're doing and that's why they're doing it. Now, this is one of the very few instances of this floor plan I've seen that doesn't include a factory standard TV. They've obviously got one all shadow boxed in right here if you want to put one up in there. And if I sit down at the theater seat, that's what we're looking at. The TV is mounted up fairly high. Because the RV is a little bit taller. But when you are sitting here, it gives you some pretty respectably awesome views of the campside of your rig right here, from the living area at least. Like when you're in the kitchen, yeah, your visibility is limited, but I don't know that that's a big deal, you know. I do also like how they frame out their windows. They actually wood frame their windows out there. Little USB plug between the entry door and the dinette, kind of handy for keeping some phones charged up. The dinette's a very traditional dinette. There's nothing too fancy pants going on here. They don't offer any sort of seating swaption for that. I'd love a bar type dinette or something right there, but they don't offer that. This is a basic camper. It's got a basic booth dinette. I'll get you a sample of that down in the sleeper position in a few minutes. The RV is, what is it, 27 foot tip to tail, which gives you about a 22 to 23 foot box size, but this has the living room space and feeling of like a 30-foot camper because it's an open bed concept. Now, there's a couple builders who Transcend, who Who else? Bullet and Passport. They make a version of this floor plan that actually has sliding privacy doors for that front bed right there. This one actually has the space to do it. They just didn't. So, there you go. But it does make the whole RV look and feel nice and big. I do like the privacy curtain that they included that, so you can also privatize that, close that off. This is a 60 by 80 True Queen bed up front. Most of your stick and tin builders out there nowadays are using a Camp Queen. Some of your J-Flights are True Queens, and basically all of your Transcends are True Queens, just in case you are a little bit curious. Salem and Wildwood use a wacky custom bed size that's more like an Olympic Queen. Awesome cross-breeze window coverage on that, though. But notice, I don't think last year, I can't remember. I don't think last year they had household and USB outlets on both sides of that. And I'm not mad at it. I'm actually quite happy that those are there because I don't know about you. I certainly have plenty of charging devices. Now, because the RV is a little taller, they had room to give you some nice big wide open side stands as well as the hanging wardrobe towers. Now, what's really weird on this floor plan is they throw a second TV hookup here. But I think they do it because they also included a privacy curtain. So in theory, the privacy curtain could be closed and you could still watch TV. I don't know how useful that genuinely is, but that's why, by the way. That's your solar charge controller up there in case you are a little bit curious. As we work our way back, J-Flight has done a really weird thing for 2025. They include one slide side breeze window in their floor plans where possible. Now, this floor plan, it's not like there's a refrigerator next to, you know, the window there. So on the left side, there couldn't be a breeze window, but all of your J-Flight models seem to give you one slide side breeze window. They have also completely moved away from the pleather kind of touch. Everything now is this nice little microfiber soft touch that you're looking at, and it actually has a basically like a Scotch Guard treatment right from the factory. They actually use what is essentially the highest amount of that stuff that they legally can when they ship this thing. Also, you might notice those handy dandy little swivel stands on the theater seat here. Some of the extra little details here I want to give you, though. These are those like things that you didn't even realize until after you owned it. That's the info I want to give you. If you just kick out the recliner, the side stand still is mostly flat. But because the whole armrest slides with the recliner, when you do fully recline, you might notice that the side stand's now on a bit of a tipsy angle. So be real careful how you plan to use those things, because it wouldn't take too awful much to suddenly go, oops, and now you have a spill. Getting that privacy curtain out of the way, you might notice on the left you have a general hanging cabinet, closet, whatever. On the right, it's just like a dresser. So the storage is a little bit different from how it initially appears. And that's why I like to put the videos together here to help you get all those details. And obviously, for easy lift, easy access, the bed down here's got that Bob Seger strut about it. Flipping around the other direction here, take a look down at the dinette. You might notice they give us some doors for the dinette base, which is kind of handy. A lot of brands in this class do not. I'd go to Walmart or Target or something, get myself a couple totes to slide under there. And I happened to just glance at the Jayco spec guide before I saw this. And for whatever reason, I recall that that's, I think, a 38 by 72 sized dinette. I don't usually have the opportunity or for whatever reason the memory to recall that on the spot, but there we go. Again, just to give you a size reference, a phone in that cavity, it is quite large. You might notice how that, though, that cabinet doesn't go all the way to the sidewall. That's because your sewer stink pipes run up that back wall. They have to have a place to kind of hide those. Another thing that they've hidden is the fuse box, your converter panel power management system down here. So it's easy to access even when the slide's closed. I'll demonstrate slide access road mode in a few minutes here. You might notice all plywood full extension drawer glides right here. 3 of them, drawers to the floors. This floor plan, though, and this is true of most builders who make it, not very good at having, what do I want to say, wastebasket space. They don't really have a good spot. Ooh. I just noticed those windows do not open for airflow. However, I want to point out, notice the power outlet, roughly bottom left corner of the screen right now. That's at a really good location. And as we spin around like a record baby, awful darn slow, you can see another one right there, right above this chunk of counter space. Also a really good spot for it. Now, if you're cooking bacon, expect to clean off that slide end wall with regularity. For whatever reason, RV designers don't seem to realize that bacon grease, yes, in fact, does splatter laterally. That seems to be something that they haven't quite yet grasped out of Elkhart County. In case you were curious, Elkhart County is the county in Indiana where the vast majority of RV manufacturers are headquartered. And there are certainly some not directly within Elkhart County, but there you go. There's the geography lesson of the day that no one asked for. Now, one of the consistent points of concern I've seen with this floor plan is people don't necessarily like how the bathroom door opens straight into the kitchen. And it's just kind of unavoidable with a floor plan like this. And some people are like, hey, Jack, I don't like crapping where I eat. And, you know, that's fair. I respect that. If you take a look at the right-hand side of the screen, I'm doing my toilet selfie champion routine. And although I go out of my way to bump my elbow against the wall, I had to go out of my way to do it. It's not actually too awfully bad here. Now, they give us a big full cabinet over here, which means they didn't exactly have room for like a nice hanging towel bar because they'd have a door that swings open. So you're going to want to probably come up with some kind of hanging towel solution. If we get ourselves all the way up here, if I could wave a wand and change one thing, it would be that. But at least it's the small vent fan. You know, it's not the big one, but they didn't give us absolutely no vent fan, which I have actually seen, well, even the smaller J-Flights do, actually. Draw your attention, please, over to the right side of the screen. I threw my phone in that cabinet for a little bit of a size reference so that you could get an idea of what we're looking at here. I love the fact that they fully enclosed all of the storage that they have there. Now, as we work our way up, this does have a full medicine cabinet. When you're in the J-Flight SLXs, the Indiana-built ones do not. The Idaho ones do, but the Indiana-built ones don't. This is a full J-Flight, though, so it does. And this RV has a 6'9" floor-to-ceiling clearance. So as you notice on the left side of the screen, I can actually stand up in there, even though I'm a little over 6 foot myself. I get in just fine. And sometimes people go, why doesn't the shower surround paneling go all the way up to the ceiling? Well, the funny thing is, shower surround paneling is standardized to one size from its supplier. And since a lot of RVs have a standard 6.5 foot ceiling height, that's how the supplier builds them. So when Jayco goes above and beyond to build us a little bit taller camper, it means that funky little things sometimes occur, such as the little gap in the shower surround paneling there. Now, one of the really, really awesome qualities of this RV is how easily and awesomely accessible it is with the slide closed in road mode. But I just saw something shiny. Sometimes people will look at the roofing of a slide, especially from the outside, and notice how it's sloped and go, well, don't these idiots know how to build a slide? It's not square. It's the top of it's not supposed to be. The top of it always slopes away from the RV a little bit for rain runoff purposes. So kind of just keep that in the back of the memory banks. This I think is actually interesting. If you look at this, this is a true queen bed. So it's not like you could shove a true queen in here and it would eat up some of the space. There's just awesome space to walk around the bed even when the slide's closed. And I looked at it, and I was like, I wonder why they don't make the RV like a foot shorter then and just get rid of that space, because that would save some weight and cost. And the answer is because the mattress would overlap with the entry door and make entering and exiting really uncomfortable. Now, one of the other cool things, because your dining over here is not located within a Schwintek slide, you can absolutely use that dining in transit. Now, beyond that, yeah, it gets a little tighter in here like a motorhome in transit, but your refrigerator, all of your kitchen, your sink, your microwave, all this stuff is very easily, readily accessible in transit, as is the bathroom. And that's one of the things that I think is really cool about this model, is it absolutely, positively crushes the Cracker Barrel travel test. It's, as my 1980s blood wants to say, it's totally turtle friendly, dude. Just to give you a quick sweaty guy size reference, this is a 6'9" ceiling. I'm about 6'1" flat foot. I'm wearing big, thick-soled shoes right now, so you can see there's plenty of room there. And I still have the slide closed. Did you notice I didn't have to do a sideways travel trailer two-step? I was just walking broad-shouldered down that thing and weaved my way right through it. So if extra little tidbits like road mode, opening all the storage and the extra details are helpful to you, hit that little subscribe button. Here's another little pro tip. You notice how I've got the sofa situated right now? I took the swivel stands out of the cup holders right there. and I tucked them just kind of off to the side. I did that because while you're going down the road, you don't want to leave those stands in there because they will bounce and jiggle a lot and probably dislodge the cup holder in the armrest of the sofa. So there you go. Another pro tip. You ever never. Let's hop outside. Hep outside. We got a little bit of a breeziness rolling through today, but I don't think anything that's going to affect the microphone too awful much. Apologies if it gets a little at some point. We're probably taking a second look at the weights and the measures down there along the bottom of the screen. Again, basically 27-foot tip to tail and a full max load at 6,900 pounds, just under 7,000 fully loaded. That sounds very half-ton towable to me. Now, if you're going to go up and down some crazy mountains, that might start to challenge some half-tons. There are definitely some that are more than capable of handling it, but keep in mind, towing, it's as much about where you're going as what you're towing, and I don't know that everybody necessarily understands that. Now, this is one of those east versus west differences. Eastern, Indiana-built J-Flights have 20-pound propane tanks up front. The Idaho ones typically have 30s. There's more boondocking people out west, so the Idaho-built J-Flights typically have bigger propane tanks and a larger freshwater holding tank straight from the factory level. I'm a person who doesn't boondock, but I don't know. I'm like, ugh! I hate that mine doesn't have the extra things. But to be fair, those Western-built J-Flights typically run a couple bucks more as a result. So it's not like it's, a $0 upgrade that they enjoy out west. I do really like how they've maintained that big full pass-through, giving us big baggage doors on both sides, magnet holdback, still butterfly twist latches on those. And you can also see that right on that orange marker light, there's a big black box. That's a technical term, not really, but it is a prep for a side view camera. Now we're about to get a light pole in the way right in front of our faces here. Apologies there, but I'm going to back up and give you all 27 foot of this thing. And when I say 27 foot, I mean back of the bumper to tip of the tongue. You may actually notice how the spare tire sticks off past that a little bit. So if you have a 27-foot barn, this isn't going to fit. Keep that in mind. I almost learned that lesson the hard way once. Goodyear Endurance radials, factory standard here. That's something that the SLX J-Flights do not have. They have import tires, whereas these are the Goodyears right there. Working our way back, I like the campside window coverage once again, the bigger entry handle, and that is an anti-slam entry door where you can walk up and do a Miss Piggy hi-ya! Karate chop on that sucker. By the way, this is a fun thing. Did you know the person who voiced Miss Piggy also voiced Yoda? So next time you hear Miss Piggy, imagine Yoda being like, silly you are. Yes, Kermie. Anyway, Frank Oz, I think, was that who that was? There's your backup camera prep there. Notice on a full J-Flight, we actually get the 250-pound rated ladder. Giving you just another quick peek up at the roof line there. Nothing special, fully walkable roof, but it is plywood decked. And again, you have that 200-watt solar package. Jayco calls that the Overlander 1 package. 200-watt solar, 30-amp PWM charge controller. You want to slap on a second 200-watt panel? No biggie deal. You want to go beyond that? Biggie deal. You start having to do some serious rewiring on things. Another really awesome series of 1-2 punch qualities on this. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4 punch combo. We've got black tank flush, full hot cold outside utility shower. Your spare tire, by the way, is the same as the rest of them, which are nice. But you also have a tankless on-demand water heater right here, a 60,000 BTU variety, and it's located right next to the kitchen and right next to the bathroom, so you don't have any sort of wasted water in the water lines anymore, and you can help it. You also have a single sewer outlet and some superior stabilizer jacks right here, the quick drop stabilizers, and the cool thing about those, they take a crap load of the herky-jerky wiggle jiggle out of this thing when you're at a destination. This RV is already not super long. It should do pretty good. One last little factoid here. If you know what you're looking at, you already know the answer. But the slide system, that is a Schwintek slide system. I'll maybe teach you who didn't know how to fish. When you see the silvery worm gears crawling along the side of this thing with that little switchback dragon spine weave pattern, that's a Schwintek slide. Now, if you don't know the difference between different slide systems, good news. I've got a video on that. Take a look at the links in the video description if you want to learn about different slide systems, their advantages, and their drawbacks. I'll be fair, I'll tell you both sides of it. Take a look at that thing. It might help you maybe factor into your purchasing decision, or not, I don't know, but the info's there if you want it. So as I mentioned earlier, today we're looking at the standard tin skin version, but if you want something that's a little more smexy, a little shinier in the shoes, there is an optional fiberglass package that is available on these. Now that happens to be a J-Flight SLX. Today we are looking at a full J-Flight, but you get the idea. You can get fiberglass on the sucker all the way around. Doesn't change the structure to aluminum, it's still stick built, but that is available. Now, whether you're curious or whether you're serious, I'm going to leave you some links in the video description where you can double check things like pricing, availability, also similar floor plans from other builders, because a lot of other people are building this layout now. If you like the layout, you can thank the Grand Design Imagine for it. If you don't like the layout, you can thank the Grand Design Imagine for it. The 22 MLE is kind of the originator of this floor plan, and then a whole world of clones spawn, including the Cougar 22 MLS, which is 4 years running, maybe now 5. My personal favorite couples camping floor plan, period, bar none, out there in the market. But that's just my nerdy take on the thing. What do you think about it? Let me know your good, bad, ugly, and in between. And until next time, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.